what is it? Non-Stop Nut November, yeah. As you know... nuts are actually pretty healthy for you. You should, have at least 3 a day.
What are you watching? I swear, I was watching it!
Where VTubers and gacha games have sucked away all of our free time, a shitload of anime went completely under the radar and were almost entirely forgotten about.
So then I realized, hey, if I cut out all my designated times for sleeping and eating, then I'll have time to watch VTubers, grind through Arknights, and watch nearly every single fall 2020 anime currently airing. It's been so long. I haven't slept in ages, and I haven't eaten in God knows how long. And those KFC ASMR streams are not helping. But putting aside my love for Hachima's glorious chewing noises and my overwhelming desire to headhunt an operator in Arknights literally named Waifu, yeah, I've watched the majority of the anime airing this season because I hate myself and refuse to give myself any time to actually fucking sleep. But yes, following the super empty summer season caused by, that big world event that rhymes with, Sharona Cyrus, we've now returned to a regular amount of anime in a season, but let's be honest, after having so few anime for most of the year, this very full season has really hit like a... Tonikawa Fly Me to the Moon is one of the biggest new shows this season, and before you ask, no, unfortunately the OP is not Frank Sinatra singing Fly Me to the Moon. How did they fuck that up? That was money waiting to be printed right there! Though while the OP itself certainly isn't on par with that sexy, buttery Sinatra voice that we could have gotten, it's actually a really great OP, and is actually one of those few that I have continually listened to as the season has gone on. Now, Tonikawa is simultaneously super progressive and super not that at all, because while the protagonist openly curses anime Jeff Bezos, his wife is a believer in no dates till marriage, so... But for real, remember how in April everyone saw Bomb from Tower of God and they're all like, Simp!
Simp? What is simp? Do you mean shrimp?
Oh, right. Sorry. Then everyone saw Kazuya in Rent a Girlfriend during the summer and they were all like, he's even more of a shrimp! But seriously, NASA makes Bomb and Kazuya look like normal functioning humans, which is quite a fucking feat. Like, oh my lord, this guy simped so hard for this random girl that after getting hit by a truck and literally breaking both of his legs, he still runs after this girl just to ask her out. Like, what the fuck? And then she says she'll only go out with him if they get married, and the fucking simp says yes without hesitation. What a fucking legend. I award this man Anime Protagonist of the Year for this. His antics are fucking hilarious despite his painful stupidity. I just think that NASA could really use some post-nut clarity before making all of these decisions, although then again, I suppose that didn't really help Kazuya at all, but he does all this shit for just a minute or two of hand-holding, which is well worth it if we're being honest. The funniest element in this dynamic is that NASA is still just as fucking dense as any other anime protagonist, despite literally being married to his love interest. Like, he'll be doing something with her in public, like wondering, oh, is this a date? When, again, they're fucking married! My guy, leave all the frantic worrying about whether she still loves you or not until later in your marriage. Jesus Christ. For real though, this show is like the goddamn guide for why simping ultimately fucks you over in life. Like, in less than 20 minutes of simping,
NASA broke both of his legs, almost died from blood loss, and got himself stuck in a lifelong commitment that statistically ends in horrible failure 50% of the time.
Truly a shrimp if I've ever seen one. But I'd argue the really interesting thing about the show are the dark undertones sprinkled throughout. Like, I don't know what the fuck is up with Tsukasa, but she has some real sketchy shit going on, I can tell you that much. Like, she could be a succubus, a space goddess, the real, actual, legitimate Princess Kaguya, some alien from Neptune, a demon, some alien from Jupiter, a vampire, some alien from our own moon, someone who works out a lot, or maybe, I don't know, a yandere? I know, it seems unlikely, but all I'm saying is that her hair is a bit too pink for my taste, and that's kind of the immediate sign of a murderer in the making when it comes to anime. One way or another, I'm really excited to see if they do pull a big twist in the show. I think that could actually be really fun. Nasa should just consider himself lucky that Truck-kun's gift to him wasn't isekaiing him into another world and was instead just a happy relationship with a beautiful girl. Unfortunately, not all anime protagonists this season were given that same luxury. Though in the case of Yotsuya and his pals in I'm Standing on a Million Lives, it's not Truck-kun so much as it is, this guy. And no, the handprints are never explained, at least not as of yet. The characters are literally more disturbed by his half a head than by the hands covering his nipples and his weapon of ass destruction. Now, allow me to momentarily vent my confusion about what the actual fuck this show is or is trying to be, because I do not understand. So starting from a plot basis, this is like basically a video game world, right? Like the death effects and everything are very clearly digital, and they even have main menus, though the design of said menus is fucking ridiculous due to the fact that you can only see the menu by squinting. I have no goddamn clue for why that's a thing, cause just what? But despite all these clearly digital elements, it's also very obvious that they were summoned here via some sort of magic or supernatural shit. Like, this is not based in science whatsoever. So what the hell is happening? And that's just in regard to the base concept. Tone-wise, things get even more confusing. Like, as you're first watching it, you're like, oh, the group dynamic is set up to make each character entirely useless. That's pretty funny. It's almost like Konosuba. But then they immediately toss away the dysfunctional group dynamic, which, is fucking disappointing. And did I mention that the show also has a problem with being spontaneously edgy?
全員死んだら本当に死んじゃうんだって。
Oh god, the SAO flashbacks are too strong. Please don't.
ゴブリンよ。
Goblin?
Fuck, not goblins too! But it's really strange seeing the show constantly switch between a comedic tone and a really edgy and dark tone. It's extremely off-putting and doesn't happen naturally whatsoever. Like, Yotsuya literally feels like a discount Kirito, but is also a dude stuck with a fucking farmer role simultaneously. What is this? And almost immediately after the show begins, they try to do some dumb character introspection and subversion type moment, and it's just so tone deaf. It feels like they wanted to be Re:Zero, but didn't understand what makes Re:Zero the masterpiece that it is. This big moment that Yotsuya has is basically the same revelation that Subaru has in the third arc of Re:Zero, but the difference with Yotsuya is that his happens in the second episode and takes up about 5 minutes of screen time before fading into irrelevancy shortly after. Arc 3 of Re:Zero is all about Subaru coming to terms with some of his worst and ugliest flaws, and not only does it have 13 episodes of build-up, but the revelation itself takes about 5 or 6 episodes to truly be explored in depth. With Yotsuya's big revelation here, there's no subtlety whatsoever to what the author was trying to do. It's just straight up not good. I mean, I suppose it's somewhat entertaining to watch, but it really doesn't resonate with me nearly as much as I feel the author wanted it to. Now, that's not to say that I hate the show with a flaming passion or anything like that, because weirdly enough, this is actually one of the most enjoyable anime this season for me. I don't quite understand why, but one of the reasons is likely the mystery factor of the series. There's a very big mystery of what exactly is happening and what big scheme it's a part of, and I honestly really dig that subplot. And also some of the comedy just really works. Like, Yotsuya going on a rampage and smashing a bunch of teenage girls' phones is honestly the hardest I've laughed at any singular scene in any anime this season so far. Although I do want to briefly draw attention to the fact that in this scene, Yotsuya literally says, if they're bullying her, she might commit suicide. but that means that my mission to hit on her will have failed. What the fuck? That's what you're worried about? Jesus Christ! But in case you're looking for a much more, generic isekai this season, we also have By the Grace of the Gods, also known as That Time I Was Reincarnated as a Shota, which... I hate it. I hate it. I hate it so much. Oh God, why? I hate this. Oh my God, why? Please spare me from this suffering. Pretty much the only positive thing I can say about this series is that it has a fucking cat girl in it, but unlike usual, that really can't save the show for me. This, of course, prompts a discussion that I'm sure you've heard 69 billion times.
Isekai oversaturation.
Which ironically is an oversaturated topic itself, so maybe the real issue here is isekai oversaturation discussion oversaturation. Oh God, this is getting complicated. My point here is that we need to stop making jokes about isekai oversaturation because honestly, they are more oversaturated than isekai itself. We're at the point where we just need to accept that isekai will never go away and learn to live with it.
But Caleb, isn't you talking about the issue also feeding into that oversaturation?
Yes, it is. I am a hypocrite, alright, and I am proud of it. That said, even with all the isekai series we've seen in 2020, I think the one that truly reigns supreme over all the rest is Isekai Harem Monogatari. It's just perfection. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. But going back to By the Grace of the Gods, this show does that bizarre thing that a lot of isekai have done lately, where it doesn't start with the normal world and only shows the actual isekai-ing event in the second episode or towards the end of the first. I've never understood this, honestly, because the most interesting part of most isekais is that initial shock and adjustment to this new world. So not leading with that part just makes for a very underwhelming beginning. Although I guess the fact that a middle-aged man was stuck in this little boy's body might have just been an odd thing to lead with in this specific situation. My issue with this series in particular honestly stems largely from the fact that it could honestly just be a fantasy show without the isekai element and would honestly be better for it. Shoehorning in isekai elements just doesn't make sense to me unless it has any significant reason for being an isekai. At least King's Raid doesn't stoop to the level of adding in an unnecessary isekai element into its plot, despite, the overwhelming mediocrity that this show oozes at all times. Now, King's Raid is just a standard, boring medieval fantasy show whose understanding of subtlety has the dark elf who's actually evil literally just fucking stopping and staring at the show's main character in a very blatantly sketchy way. Oh wow, I wonder if he's up to something. The best part is that the Dark Elves are called the Black Edge. Like, what? Is that the best you could come up with? And I mean, God, this anime protagonist is more boring than an old slice of, anime titties.
5 minutes later.
What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the show's just so mediocre that it actually hurts me physically to watch it. Like, thank God they have a recap at the start of each episode, because I genuinely can't remember 95% of the shit that happens in this show. The worst part is that there are 26 episodes I'm gonna have to sit through. Well, at least the show has some very visually appealing waifus. Apparently, the show is based on some random mobile game, which explains why it lacks any semblance of, quality. Seriously, it's so rare for a mobile game anime adaptation to actually be good. Like, they generally have an even worse track record than remakes. Oh, the new Higurashi was this season. Now, the original Higurashi anime is one of the most iconic and well-respected series out there. Or so I've heard. That's right, big confession time, I have never actually seen the original Higurashi, nor have I played the original visual novel. I know, please don't kill me, I'm sorry, okay? So, just allow me to present to you... Oh, that is oh wow, that is quite an opener. They're gonna kill some of these adorable girls, aren't they?
つまり
Jesus fuck, is she like Kevin from Home Alone or some shit? Now the whole psychopath angle makes sense.
例えば事故とか事件
知らない
No, fuck that. That's creepy as fuck. Oh god, are these waifus like psycho killers or some shit? No, not today. No, fuck this. There's no life behind those eyes. What the actual fuck? Who is this girl? Jesus Christ.
傷害事件とか殺人
なかった
Oh, are they seriously all fucking psychopaths? Oh fuck, this is not a harem, is it?
やっぱり
No. What the hell is she doing? Oh god, oh fuck, oh shit. What? I don't.
また繰り返せって言うのねえ
What?
100年では
What? I don't understand. Okay, yeah, so turns out the new Higurashi is not a remake as advertised. Because of course it isn't. Of course they couldn't make this easy for me as a new viewer, because why would they? I mean, sure, they said it was a remake, but no, apparently not.
But it's not really a reboot, though. They tricked us.
Oh, seriously, the opening scene in episode 2 confused me to such an extreme amount. My god. Not a remake?
Never has been.
And the more I looked into what the fuck this new anime even fucking is, the worse this got. Like, I had a legitimate fucking headache by the end of this. And this, of course, raises the question of how in the fuck do you watch Higurashi 2020? Now, here's the watch order that I seem to have compiled in my research, and mostly from consulting my friend Caleb, who actually knows what the fuck he's talking about. So you start by watching Higurashi no Naku Koro ni, that's 26 episodes. Moving on, you have the cat killing chapter, a special episode that essentially serves as an OVA. Okay, and then you watch Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Kai, which lasts an additional 24 episodes. And then you need to watch the 5-episode run of Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Rei, which concludes the main story of Higurashi. But don't forget to watch all 4 episodes of Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Kira, the OVA series that does a bunch of other random shit. Now after that, you need to watch Outbreak, the double-length OVA episode that should finish out all of your Higurashi content necessary before watching the new Higurashi. You fucking wish, 'cause of course there's more. Did you see that? Did you see it? Did you fucking see that shit? Yeah, that's right. It's the fucking mansion from Umineko. Oh, fucking 2 of the witches or some shit too. See, yeah, apparently Umineko also fucking connects to the new Higurashi, so the watch order fucking continues. Okay, so you'd assume that you just need to watch the 24-episode run of Umineko, and you'd be good. You'd think, but no, that'd be too fucking simple. So apparently, the Umineko anime adaptation is horrible and one of the worst visual novel adaptations out there. Or so I've been told. So you actually need to play the visual novel, and I know you're probably like, oh, what, so like a standard 20 to 30 hour visual novel? I mean, it's not ideal, but I guess I can do it. No! First, you need to play Umineko no Naku Koro ni, otherwise known as the Questions arc. This half of the visual novel covers Legend of the Golden Witch, Turn of the Golden Witch, Banquet of the Golden Witch, and Alliance of the Golden Witch. Length? 60 fucking hours, and that's just the first fucking half. That leads us to the second half. Umineko no Naku Koro ni Shiro. This contains End of the Golden Witch, Dawn of the Golden Witch, Requiem of the Golden Witch, and Twilight of the Golden Witch, aka another 60 fucking hours. So yes, That's 120 hours of reading necessary to understand Higurashi no Naku Koro ni Go. So there's your motherfucking watch order. Okay, let's see. What's an anime this season without a super complicated watch order? Oh, yeah. Rail Romanesque. A series with no required shit to watch beforehand. Thank God. Thank God. I mean, it's got cute railroad waifus and short episodes. What more could you honestly ask for? Plus, the show has heavy Yuri energy, and I am here for it. Actually, a lot of shows this season have Yuri energy, which is fucking awesome, might I add. Plus, we also have an actual dedicated Yuri anime this season, which is hype as fuck, given that I can't think of any really good Yuri series that have released since Bloom Into You back in fall 2018. And before you correct me with the whole, Caleb, actually the technical term is shoujo ai, the term Yuri is specifically for hentai. Shut the fuck up! It's easier just to use Yuri for both, okay? Anyway, the Shoujo Ai series in question is Adachi and Shimamura, which is some quality fucking content. Like, when I say quality, I mean quality. The absolute quality of this show is higher than a middle schooler who just discovered weed. Get it? Like high weed? Alright, I'll move on. We've got two cute girls, one weird astronaut alien kid, and a relationship founded on ping pong. The true glue in most bonds, if we're being honest. Seriously though, I absolutely adore this show, and it might actually be my favorite of the season if I'm being honest. I think I may just break and binge the light novels because of how damn good it is. The dynamic between the titular characters Adachi and Shimamura is literally so adorable, and I absolutely love some of these subtle psychological bits that they've been sprinkling throughout. I'm very interested in seeing what we'll continue to learn about the psyches of these two characters as the show progresses. Ooh, horny. The series definitely isn't nearly as psychological as something like Bloom Into You, but more so plays with those base human anxieties that many of us have felt in regards to those crushes and romantic feelings that sprout within us during high school. Well, unless you were that one piece of shit who rejected me and hooked up with my brother because I refuse to believe that you had feelings, you whore! The point is, I'm sensing strong masterpiece vibes with this show, although given my track record with shoujo ai shows, I think that we all know I'm very bad at reading these shows from their first couple episodes, so who really knows? But as of now, I am hopeful. At the very least, it's cute as shit, and as you all know, they call me Dr. Cows due to my PhD in cuteology. I also have PhDs in isekai philosophy, vanilla hentai, and underwater basket weaving, but those are all irrelevant until I find an anime about a waifu getting transported to another world, having an existential crisis, and then sleeping around whilst maintaining a position at a basket weaving facility located at the bottom of the ocean. Although, who am I kidding? That's probably already a light novel. But our research teams dedicated to determining the scientific value of cuteness in every anime each season have also in fact found a high level of cuteness in a second anime this season as well. That series would be Kimi no Boko no Saigo no Senjo Aru Sekai ga Haijimu size. What the actual fuck? Jesus Christ. Okay, the English name translates it to Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World. Or? The fuck do you mean, or? Is the name Our Last Crusade, or is it The Rise of a New World? For simplicity's sake, I think we'll just refer to the series with the name Our Last Crusade. So, Our Last Crusade. It's really fucking cute, guys. Now, I'm somewhat biased because any show that openly borrows elements from Romeo and Juliet pretty much immediately has my love. That's one of the reasons I adore the 2018 anime Boarding School Juliet so much, although that's also just a really damn good anime that I highly recommend in general. Romeo and Juliet inspired shows always just have that really strong romantic chemistry present to make the taboo of the characters' different backgrounds work within the story. So it's always just a very exciting and romantic premise. The point here is that the relationship between generic protagonist number 27 and Alice is fucking adorable, and Alice herself is one of the best waifus of the entire season, and I love her with every cell in my body, minus one cell in my shoulder. That one's just kind of doing its own thing. Also, in terms of the actual world that the series is set in, I really enjoy it. I genuinely love that blend of fantasy and technology on display within the show. Very rarely do I see it done in a way where it doesn't feel like a gimmick, but within this show it feels very natural. Now, on that note, another series this season elicited a similar surprise for me, and that show would be Jujutsu Kaisen. Specifically, in that its initial episode is all very centered around this occult club, and generally speaking, the presence of an occult club basically means that the anime is going to overflow with a gargantuan amount of pure, unfiltered mediocrity. But Jujutsu Kaisen breaks that cycle and is actually pretty damn good. Those eyes, though. When it turns out that the waifu in the hentai you're watching is actually not a waifu because you're not really watching a hentai and you're actually just delusionally holding an innocent girl captive in your basement. Seriously though, this protagonist's backstory is that he won fucking Ninja Warrior. Are you kidding me? He's too damn OP. Although, like, actually, he really is weirdly overpowered, all things considered. Like, he can apparently run 50 meters in less than 3 seconds. I call bullshit. I can handle anime titties breaking the laws of physics, but this crosses a line. 0 out of 10. On a more serious note, however, the show is so well animated and the action is damn near orgasmic. I love how I just said it was going to be on a serious note, but then immediately used the word orgasmic. For real though, holy shit, these fights are so fucking hype. The only anime fight this season that I think is more epic would be the food eating battle from Higurashi. And the design of each of these curses, they're so fucking terrifying. Like in the first episode, when I first saw them, I genuinely squirmed and jumped multiple times. Now, watching episode 2, I was actually a little worried that the show was going to be a lot more shonen-y than I would have liked, but episode 3 calmed my fears, and I'm hoping that we won't have to worry about the show devolving into the usual shonen fare, because one of my favorite things about the show literally is the fact that it's super unique feeling. Haikyuu is airing. I haven't seen it before. So here's a haiku. Just so you all know, there's an anime this season all about some guy begging women to show him their tits and not shutting up about it until they agree to comply, and that is the entire show. Every episode is 2 minutes of just this. Literally. What the fuck? On a more wholesome note, we also have Kuma Bear, which has a cute waifu wearing a bear suit, and Bear Girl is the new bunny girl. What can I say? I don't really understand what the fuck this even is, but hey, the bears are cute and the Bear Girl is even cuter, so I am happy. Like, the second she said bear punch is the moment I knew I loved this show. Oh, of course, it's a VR MMO series. Well, at least it's not a...
お帰りなさいませ、ユナ様。え？え？なんじゃこれは。
Are you shitting me? So, it's not just a VR MMO series, but a VR MMO isekai series. God damn it, why did they have to reveal that so late? Now my entire video format is fucked up because this show isn't categorized with all the isekai earlier in the video. It even specifically did the thing I mentioned earlier where it doesn't start with the actual isekai-ing event. Ugh!
But Caleb, isn't all this pre-scripted? Couldn't you just alter the script if it's an actual issue?
Shut up, random question person.
But Caleb, aren't you technically the one writing me, meaning that you are me and I am you? Oh, shit.
This is getting way too meta.
Factory resetting. Please wait. Please wait. Please wait. Restarting.
Ooh, feet. I mean, in the words of JFK.
Do I look like a guy with a foot fetish?
Feet kinks aside, Hang On Sports Climbing Girls is here to be added as another entry in the long series of I suddenly have an interest in this random sport/exercise activity now that hot anime waifus are doing it. You know, I really want to see one of these shows, but like just with a really intense game of Go Fish. But to start off, I love how this high school just somehow has this fucking rock climbing club with only 3 members. Or is this normal? Am I stupid? Do schools normally have this? Either way, let's be real. None of us ever expected rock climbing to be this sexy. I love me some fit waifus, I'm just saying. Now to add this to the list of protagonists with just really weird backstories this season, Konomi is instantly a master at rock climbing solely because she likes puzzle games and did ballet when she was younger. As someone who has literally done rock climbing for many years as a child, I can tell you that would not mean shit but tits. So it doesn't matter. Although it's really odd that she has to participate in a competition like a day after joining the club. Like, what the fuck? But all things considered, the show is actually able to stay really engaging, and the gimmick doesn't seem to be immediately wearing off like with similar shows. In fact, I'd argue it's only strengthening as it goes on. But Hang On isn't the only series utilizing ballet as a major plot device. Westgate Park also has long, interrupted sessions of male ballet because I don't know. I can't really take the show seriously at all, and I'm not sure if that's like the point. Like, I mean, come on, they're called G-Boys? Are you serious? And then between the Smoking Kills t-shirt and that fucking fruit ramen, the main character is just hilarious. Although his name is Makoto, which gives me flashbacks. Also, is it just me, or does this drug lord kind of just look like anime Shaggy without a beard? Like Scoob, I can't do a Shaggy impression at all. But Westgate Park has a very strong, American procedural TV vibe to me. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing. It's at least got my interest in seeing where it's gonna go. Also, the soundtrack is hype as fuck. Though I can't say I'm an overwhelming fan of the way in which they portray YouTubers, and more specifically viral videos. However, I did find the approach that The Day I Became a God took on the matter to be much more amusing. Now, this series is one of many that utilize that annoying shorter girl tags along with the main character and antics ensue trope, but this annoying shorter girl in question is apparently an omniscient god. So honestly, I'm down as fuck. There's a countdown each episode to the end of the world, and normally I would assume it's just going to be laughed off whenever we get there, but the thing is, this is an original series, made by the same folks who made Angel Beats. So, I have a feeling this ending might actually be legendary, and I am very, very excited for it. Now, Izanami became best girl from pretty much the second I laid eyes on her, although she immediately friend-zoned him with zero hesitation. Oh my lord! This show seems to be partially about escaping the friend zone, with the goddess Odin here basically serving as the wingman to the protagonist. That said, Odin is a terrible wingman, but that's kind of what makes it so fucking funny. Although then, when he actually confesses to her, she fucking rejects him without a second thought. Oh my god!
付き合ってください僕のこのごめんなさい
Watch this, Lise. You can actually pinpoint the second when his heart rips in half. And now.
And the best part is that his attempts to confess to her do not end here. This is basically just painful, heart-wrenching rejections, the anime. I really do hope that we get some sort of dark twist towards the end of the season, though, because we've seen that these creators specifically can absolutely pull that off. Now, on the topic of dark twists, it's time to briefly touch on Reddit's favorite anime this season, Wandering Witch, a show that's very timely, honestly, given that it has a character who gets infected with a killer virus after taking his mask off. But from the start, this is a very cute and wholesome show, and the first episode legit made me tear up and had me extremely close to fully crying, which was unexpected. The waifu game is on point, and the magic duels in the first episode were fucking phenomenal. Like, Harry Potter wishes it could be this goddamn awesome. But what's weird is the turn that the show takes following this second episode, because it gets weird. We're following Elena, the traveler witch, but the thing is, she's an extremely unique protagonist in that she's an observer. She refuses to get involved in the shit happening around her. Like, she sees a zombie apocalypse go down, she doesn't do anything. She sees a slave on the brink of ending their own life, and she doesn't do anything. She sees a really complex and fucked up situation involving a dragon that has taken over and obliterated an entire city save for a single woman, and she again does nothing. And this is super, super interesting because, I mean, realistically, she couldn't do anything in these situations anyway. Not without endangering herself or just causing more problems. But the thing is, most anime would probably have some generic-ass protagonist who tries to stop all of these bad things from happening with a bunch of plot armor to protect him from any consequences. Elena is absolutely a breath of fresh air because I really don't think we've seen a protagonist quite like her before, and I think that the show's ability to tell both super wholesome stories and super dark and bleak and introspective stories is really unique. So while it's still early, I'd say that this show is really one of the most unique shows I've seen this year, and I'm really loving it. Now, on the flip side of this, we have Akudama Drive, a show that's super, super derivative of other media, if we're being honest, but is still fucking awesome. You can absolutely tell that the creative team had a blast working on this. These comic strip cutaways are so fun, and I just adore the stylization of everything. And this cycle action scene is one of the coolest things I've ever seen. It's like Attack on Titan, but like with motorcycles. Now, the show's got an interesting cast of characters, including this guy who kind of looks like a gender-bent teenage Tanya the Evil, which is kind of confusing given her own gender situation in the first place. And oh, also this chick. Oh god, please let her cut me open. Oh, or poison me too. Okay, yeah. But Akudama Drive is a perfect example of why not everything needs to be fully original and unique to be fucking awesome. Being derivative sometimes is fine. Except for when you're blatantly ripping off My Hero Academia, talentless Nana. Now, if any of you have actually seen Talentless Nana, you know I'm fully kidding here. The show initially presents a concept that seems like My Hero Academia light, but turns that concept on its head by the end of the episode in a really unique and interesting way. I'll avoid major spoilers here so you can see it for yourself, but one interesting thing to note is that supposedly the enemies of humanity have infiltrated the island and are hiding within the students of the class.
White's pretty sus. Yeah, White's sus as fuck. Also pink is waifu material.
This show also provides us with the official anime adaptation of the 2020 United States presidential debate, where both candidates for leader completely ignore the rules of their match and just kinda go crazy. But again, without any legitimate spoilers, the show has just got such an interesting concept, and it's just overall a very unique take on the superpowered high schooler genre. It's also provided the FBI with a new interrogation technique, that technique being aggressive hair fondling. Oh god, I shouldn't have mentioned the FBI. Now they're gonna watch this and hear the rant I'm about to have about how lollies are wholesome as shit, and god damn it, why have I been tricked? I mean, sure, I could also not talk about how fucking adorable and wholesome lollies are, but that'd be lame. So yeah, Sleepy Princess has rekindled my deep infatuation with lollies and let me make this clear for the FBI agent listening in, a completely non-sexual manner. Did you hear that? No, I do not personally partake in the reading of loli doujins. That's fake news. It's a myth. I just want to give them head pats and protect them. Protect with 2 C's, might I add. But yes, the princess in Sleepy Princess is adorable and just the epitome of why lolis are a gift from God himself. Or herself if we're talking about Her Highness Odin. But she's also just the most relatable character ever. Like, she has horrible insomnia and can't get good sleep. Like, holy shit, me too! Twinsies! But yeah, Sleepy Princess is basically just a giant quest for this princess being held captive to make her prison cot into a super comfortable bed and just make her sleeping experience overall much better. The funniest part is how she proves time and time again that she could escape super easily, but is far too focused on finding materials necessary to sleep that she just doesn't think about it, or more likely, she just doesn't care enough to do so. Meanwhile, we have the hero who assumes her living conditions in the demon castle are horrible, trying his damnedest to save her, even though she openly admits that she can't even remember his fucking name. I kind of feel bad for the poor guy, to be honest. But yeah, the show is just all around super fucking hilarious, and I'm hoping it doesn't get repetitive at all as the show goes on. Alright, that brings us to the
anime sequel lightning round.
Grab your emergency food and let's bounce through a few of these. Wait, a woman beat you in a fight? She must not be a regular human. First off, we're back with the Irregular Magic High School Season 2. The first season aired back in 2014, so this has been quite a long hiatus, although unlike Origairu, which had fans clamoring for more, Irregular Magic High School was more like a, I guess I could watch more if I have nothing else to watch. But they made another season anyway. And this one stars Batwoman? That's odd, but no, yeah, the actual protagonist is still one of the most self-insert main characters I've seen in anime. Although if I'm being honest, I remember very little from the first season, given how long ago I watched it. Pretty much all I do remember were the heavy incest vibes and the great music, both of which are still present here. Now, the new waifu, Lena, instantly takes that #1 spot of best girl in the show, but other than that, it's pretty much just the same content you'd expect from the series. Honestly, though, it's still a fun watch despite being a mediocre power fantasy. It's got a decent enough budget to make it enjoyable, plus there's the fact that it's honestly just really stupid, which makes it very easy to follow.
I really want your dick, Belle.
Why?
Because I love you.
Why? Next up is Everybody Loves Belle Season 3. Also known by its less popular title of Is It Wrong to Try to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon? I've always seen ads for this series and have always had the intelligent reaction of, that looks like generic light novel trash, I feel no desire to watch it. But prior to the fall 2020 season, I noticed that it has nearly 1 million members on my anime list, and I was like, oh shit, maybe this actually isn't generic light novel trash. But then I watched the 2 seasons and the spin-off, and my belief was reaffirmed that the series is, in fact, generic light novel trash. I honestly think that it's only popular because it's aimed at, like, horny preteens who don't yet realize that full ecchi and, dare I say, hentai actually exist, and not just this PG-13 ecchi wannabe shit. Although that said, Hestia do be the best girl. In regards to Season 3, it's actually a little better so far, as Wine is a pretty solid addition and strengthens the cast dynamic immensely, at least from what I've seen so far. I just really want to know why everyone's so horny for Belle. Like, what the fuck does he offer? I don't get it. But yeah, overall, this season is a step up so far. The themes and plot lines they're exploring are actually the slightest bit interesting for a change. So we shall see.
Oh shit, is she a firebender?
That brings us to Love Live. Third time's the third time. Yes, this is the third remake of that original Love Live series, because of course it is. I actually really loved the original Love Live anime, but Sunshine, in my honest opinion, was pretty bad, despite having a handful of really strong moments. But yeah, yet again, they opened the show up with the cliche, this is the story of how we changed the world line. Like, oh wow, I haven't heard that one before. Oh gee, I wonder what they're gonna do, and I wonder what exact story structure they're gonna follow once again. Also, was nobody gonna talk about how the concept of high school girls consistently aspiring to be idols is actually pretty fucking disturbing, given how fucked up the idol industry actually is. Now, this show has a few things going for it, actually, one of which being the fact that they have these fantasy musical numbers every episode that take place mostly in the head of the girl singing it, which leads to some really fucking awesome sequences if we're being honest. Like, this is awesome. I love this. Also, the CGI has noticeably improved over the years, and I actually took an immediate liking to this protagonist, which I actually didn't do with the prior two. The first one took many episodes to grow on me, and I actually don't think I ever got fully on board with Sunshine's protagonist. Also, is this their fucking school? It looks like a goddamn convention center. But in all seriousness, despite my shit talking, this edition of the Love Live IP actually does have a lot of promise. I legit teared up towards the end of that first episode, and the show really does have a lot of heart. Plus, the fact that it isn't shoving in references to the original series every 5 seconds already makes it better than Sunshine. That said, we'll just have to see how it goes, because I do honestly remember liking Sunshine a fair amount early on as well, and that definitely was a big disappointment in the end for me. But seriously, these musical numbers make my heart go. Assault Lily is the final anime I want to specifically mention today, and that's because it's honestly my guilty pleasure of the season in every possible way, and I never expected that. Like, this is probably the most enjoyable show for me right now. It just hits the spot in just the right way, you know? Like, right away, I could tell Kaede was going to be the best girl of the entire season. But, like, holy shit, the sexual tension in the show is insane! There are so many great waifus here, and there are so many ships to invest in. The best part is that Kaede is actually in love with Riri, so my ship for them is already looking mighty fine. Like, Kaede and Riri are so cute together, oh my god. And then it became apparent to me that this show is actually a Yuri harem. Like, holy shit, this is a wet dream come true. There's even a full location in the show purely dedicated to my foot fetish. It's amazing. Like, this show is crack to me. It scratches every itch for content I have. Now, obviously, the show isn't perfect. Like, the exposition, truthfully, is heavier than me after happy hour on Taco Tuesday, and while the music slaps, the mixing's kinda ass and makes it way too fucking loud, but even with those issues, I just have so much fun watching this and I'm fully on board for it. Apparently it's based on a series of figures in Japan, but luckily Kaide's figure seems to be sold out literally everywhere, so while I almost was prepared to shell out all my money, as long as she's out of stock, I don't have to worry about depleting my bank account for the time being. Oh, also, I think one of the funniest things in the show is that one of the ship names is canonically named Yuri. Like, holy shit, you can't make this up, I swear. Overall, fall 2020 is a bit overwhelming, majorly due to the fact that unlike most seasons, most of these shows are mediocre at the minimum. Seasons where a large amount of anime are really, really bad make it a lot easier to stay caught up, whereas here, everything is pretty watchable, which can make it a lot to take in. So my advice to you folks at home, watch what makes you happy. You don't need to watch the shows that everyone's praising to be masterpieces or life-changing or anything like that. Watch the shows that make you happy. We've just powered through the year of 2020. You deserve to be happy. So treat yourself. You deserve it. Alright, I'm done here. You can go back to watching VTubers now.
My voice is cute as hell, thank you very much. It's because of my big penis.